Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Studio Plug, and in this video I'll be showing you guys how to create a Travis Scott style beat using FL Studio. So before we get started, I do want to let you guys know that you guys can purchase this FL Studio project and mixer bank available at studioplug.net. It is under Studio Plug Travis Scott Volume 1 Mixer Bank. It contains the Fruity Loops project, as I said, and it also contains a lot of mixer preset channels and a master channel so you guys can quickly mix and master your track. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. So if you want to listen to the beat, you guys can go ahead into the end of this tutorial and I'll have the whole beat played out. But anyways, let's get started. First things that I do when creating the whole rhythm to this will be laying down the melodies. I start off with a piano, so I have it right here. It's under Omnisphere. I'm gonna go ahead and enable it. The only reason why I have them disabled is because I export it and I process it into a sample, so that way it uses not so much CPU when I'm on my laptop. But anyways, to get started, all I went to was scale highlighting, went to B minor natural Aeolian, and I started laying down the melody here. Just clicking in notes, click a note, skip a note, click a note. And to get this rhythm, all you have to do is go to your snap to grid and make sure that you're at 1/3 of a beat. Once you're on 1/3 of a beat, your melody is going to snap into those thirds. So that's what I pretty much did that was different. So if I went to half beat, it will just give you a whole different rhythm. So we're going to be using a third. So from here, I lay down the melody. I'm going to go ahead and play it now. Alright, so that's pretty much how I did the melody. We can create one right here from scratch just so you guys can see. After I did this process, all I did was copy the notes and I pasted onto the guitar, and I have it right here, and this is how it sounds. Before I show you guys, actually, I got this from Evolution Modern Nylon, which is from Orange Tree Samples. I have the link down description below in case you want to check out some of the guitars. And I went with the Black Pearl preset, and I also threw it into its own channel, and it has RC20 and a little bit of EQing. And this is how it sounds. Then I go ahead and export it quick, and after I have it into a sample, I just brought down the pitch a whole 12 semitones or a whole octave, and this is how it sounds. And also I added some of its own VSTs here. So this is how it sounds without it. So you can tell the difference, and when I have the drop, I actually add this guitar rig, and I have this preset on right here. Forgot the name of it. It is Fuzz and Reverse Split from Guitar Rig. And it just gives it like some ambient sounds. Anyways, that's how you pretty much get the guitar sound. The next thing I'll do, and before I go on, you guys can obviously see that it's not too crazy from all the plugins I added. Just a little bit of reverb and just an EQ. Even when I'm exporting the sounds, it's not too much. I don't have a lot added to it. So for the guitar chords, it's pretty much an Omnisphere. It is the Dark Desert guitar. It is a stock preset. If you have Keyscape and Omnisphere, it's part of the Keyscape Creative Library, which is I just found under the guitars. And when I do have the melody down, so let me go back to the Contact guitar. So I have this melody here, right? I just go into this, press Control A just to highlight them, Control C to copy them. You can also copy it here, but I'm trying to get into the piano roll. So I'm going to go back to the guitar chords so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. And from here, what I'll do is press Control V to paste. And if you can see, my melodies line up with the chords. So all I do to achieve this is, I'm sure a lot of you guys already know, is bring the notes to the front. And we'll just delete all the other notes. And I'm just lining them up from where the bar starts. So 5, 6, 7, 8. And delete when it gets to every other note. And bring them back to the front. After that part, I just go ahead and stretch them out, and that's how you have your chords. And that's what I did here. The only difference is I highlighted the bottom, shift click, and press Control down, and that's how I was able to copy them. And this is how guitar sounds. Actually, before I play them, I actually even brought down the velocities on them. The higher velocity, the sharper it sounds. So I'm clicking on the higher part of the keys. So if I go lower, you'll tell that it's a whole total different sound. And that's the reason why you bring the velocities down, by highlighting them and just scrolling down the velocity notes. But anyway, this is how the chords sound. So it's nothing too much. I just exported it for the CPU purposes. And all I did from there was started layering down my sounds. Layering is important because you want to make it sound a little bit more atmospheric. So for certain tracks, it doesn't have to be for all. But Travis Scott does have a lot of that atmospheric feel. When you listen to him, it feels like you're in a spaceship. But I ended up adding this pad. And this pad right here is from Repro 5. And I just pasted it from there. Add a little bit of presets. So this is how it sounds without it. Mainly it's just a little bit of EQing. So I used RC20, just getting rid of the noise. I don't want none of that air in there. And I added parametric EQ. I have halftime right here as well because I like to mess around with things to check if they work. But for this one, it didn't work. But for the EQing, I just got rid of the low ends and some of the high ends. After I did that, I added another pad from Repro 5 as well. And this is how this one sounds. Alright, so for this one, I just went ahead and added halftime. Added some RC20 to it as well. So without it, it would have sounded like this. So it's always just a lot of messing around with it, trying to see whatever sounds good. And I always start off with the most obvious, which is being used in the industry, which is RC20 and halftime. After that, I added the counter melody. So for this melody, it's really not too much. It's just a counter melody, as I was saying. But there's a lot of ways you guys can go about this. You guys can make it all crazy or keep it more subtle. For this one, I kept it subtle and just using presets. So this is the presets here and how it sounds without them. You can't tell that it's a major difference, but it does change it up a slight bit, which is adding reverb, cutting down some of the mix. I didn't really adjust any of these. Adding halftime. I just have it set to half of the knob as well, so it's playing the original and the half-timed version. And then I have parametric EQ, just cutting off a lot of the low ends. I tried out Guitar Rig as well. I didn't really like it, so I just left it off. And I also have Pancake 2, which is a free VS2 you guys can go ahead and download. It's just a mixer preset that makes the audio go from left ear to right ear. So after I did that, I just went ahead and added the bass, which a lot of Travis Scott tracks have that dark bass. So for this one, it's just a Growler Moog bass. I didn't really do anything to it. The settings are practically the same. I just adjusted the envelope just a slight bit on the filter, and that was about it. To get the bass note, all I did was from the guitar chords, I would grab the bottom bass notes and simply paste them onto my bass. All right, so now for the drums. So the 808, I kind of did a different type of formula with this. I ended up putting them to 1/3 as well. So I go to this magnet tool, I go to third beat, and from here, I started messing around with the 808s. So this is how it sounds. So right here, obviously it starts, it's all even, and these are the thirds. And I have them hit in certain places where it's not on thirds, but it's kind of universal in a way, so it still pans out anyway. And I ended up doing the second part of the 808. Only difference is I got rid of the inner parts on both sides here. Alright, so for the snare, I just had it very simple, laid them down very easily. But for the hi-hats, I did go in the direction of using them as a third. So if I go right here to the magnet tool, you'll see that they're all in thirds. And certain places, I have them at 1/6 of a beat. And I usually mess with the velocities, not too much, just a little bit slightly. So again, for this, I'm using 1/3 of a beat and 1/6 of a beat. Usually producers would use half beat or fourth beat or half step. But for this track, I was already using 1/3 of a beat, so it's only common to just use everything else at a third or of a sixth. Then I got the kick. Then after that, I just got the open hats. Alright, so once your instruments are done and your drums are all said and done, all you have to do is lay them out. So I'm just going to go ahead and play the instruments for you guys so you guys can see how it sounds. Now I'll go ahead and play the drums down here, how they sound all together. So right there, I was just playing the kick as I was explaining earlier. It doesn't always hit with the 808, so it just gives it a little bit more rhythm to it. So you can see here, I'll play it again. And that's pretty much it on creating a Travis Scott style track. So if you guys like the video, make sure to give it a like, comment, subscribe, give me some feedback. Let me know what you guys like to see next, and I'll try my best to push it out for you guys. I'm really trying to improve on certain genres. So give me anything, and like I said, just give me a challenge and I'll try my best to do it. But anyways, that is it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna let the beat play out now, and I'll see you guys next time.